Most people assume wealth is loud. They picture flashy cars, designer clothes, giant mansions, and social media lifestyles filled with luxury vacations. But in reality, many truly wealthy people don't look rich at all. In fact, according to the 2025 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey, Americans say it takes an average net worth of about $2.5 million to be considered wealthy, while about $839,000 is needed just to feel financially comfortable. That alone tells you something important. Wealth today isn't just about luxury, it's about security. And what's even more interesting is how each generation sees that number differently. Gen Z says financial comfort starts around $329,000, and wealth begins at about $1.7 million. Millennials believe they need about $847,000 to feel comfortable and around $2.1 million to feel wealthy. Gen X, the generation balancing mortgages, teenagers, and retirement pressure, also puts wealth around $2.1 million, with financial comfort near $783,000. And boomers, thinking more about retirement stability and healthcare costs, place financial comfort at $943,000 and true wealth at nearly $2.8 million. Why? Because for most Americans, wealth isn't really about private jets. It's about paying bills without stress, owning your home, taking family vacations without debt, helping your kids through college, and retiring without fear. That's why many of the richest people are often the quietest, simplest, and most unassuming individuals you'll ever meet. Someone who is secretly wealthy may drive a modest car, wear simple clothes, avoid unnecessary attention, and live far below their means. They don't need validation because their security comes from ownership, investments, and financial stability, not public approval. This topic explores the subtle but powerful signs that reveal when someone is quietly wealthy. These are the habits, behaviors, and mindset patterns that often expose hidden financial success. From how they spend money to how they manage time, relationships, and conversations, wealth leaves clues. You'll discover why truly rich people often avoid status symbols, why they value privacy more than praise, and how their daily choices reflect abundance rather than appearance. And for the average American dreamer between 30 and 50, chasing wealth isn't really about looking rich. It's about building a life where the mortgage is manageable, retirement feels possible, family comes first, and peace of mind is no longer a luxury. That is the real American dream. Welcome to the Street Smart Secrets. Here are 10 powerful signs someone is secretly very wealthy, even if they don't look rich. 1. They don't feel the need to look rich. Many people feel the need to prove success through visible spending, but truly wealthy people often move in the opposite direction. They understand that appearances can be expensive traps. A luxury car with a $1,200 monthly payment, a designer wardrobe bought on credit, or a giant home that stretches the budget may create the image of wealth, but often at the cost of real financial freedom. Quietly wealthy people prioritize ownership over optics. Instead of spending heavily to impress neighbors, they focus on paying off mortgages early, building investment portfolios, maxing out retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs, and creating financial peace. They know that wealth is not about what people see, it's about what you own, what you control, and what keeps generating income while you sleep. For the average American dreamer, this mindset is powerful. Real success is being able to pay bills without stress, take your family on vacation without debt, help your children through college, and retire without fear. It's not about wearing expensive labels, it's about sleeping peacefully at night. You may see them wearing simple clothes, shopping strategically, and living below their means. They may not look rich at all, but behind the scenes, they have no credit card debt, a fully funded emergency account, and a long-term plan for financial independence. That's the difference between looking rich and being rich. People chasing appearance often stay broke. People building quietly often become millionaires. The American dream was never supposed to be about showing off. It was supposed to be about freedom, stability, and ownership. Secretly wealthy people understand that better than anyone. Or 2, their car is nice, but surprisingly practical. Many people assume wealth should be parked in the driveway, a luxury SUV, a brand new Mercedes, or the latest fully loaded truck with a payment that rivals rent. But one surprising sign of quiet wealth is that the truly rich often drive practical, reliable vehicles that make financial sense. In America, especially for people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, transportation is a major financial decision. Between commuting to work, school drop-offs, errands, and family travel, a car is a necessity. But secretly wealthy people understand the difference between transportation and financial burden. They may drive a paid-off Lexus, a well-maintained Toyota Highlander, a dependable Ford F-150, or a Honda Accord that runs perfectly. Why? Because they know cars depreciate. Every year, that flashy new luxury vehicle loses value while still demanding insurance premiums, high maintenance costs, and monthly payments. Instead of pouring thousands into something losing value, they redirect that money into assets, real estate, retirement funds, brokerage accounts, college savings plans, or business opportunities. They'd rather own investments than impress strangers at traffic lights. For the average American household trying to balance mortgage payments, rising grocery bills, healthcare costs, and retirement savings, this mindset matters. A $900 monthly car payment can quietly destroy wealth-building opportunities. That same money invested monthly over 20 years could transform retirement. Quietly wealthy people think long-term. They ask, will this purchase make my life better or just make me look better? They still value comfort, safety, and reliability. They're not driving junk, but they refuse to let ego drive financial decisions. Sometimes, the richest person in the neighborhood is driving the least impressive car, because real wealth often rides quietly. 3. They have freedom over their schedule. In America, time freedom is one of the highest forms of wealth. Most people live by the clock. They work fixed hours, request permission for vacations, miss family events because of job demands, and feel trapped by monthly bills. Their schedule belongs to their employer. But quietly wealthy people often have something different: options. They can attend their child's school event on a Wednesday afternoon. They can travel in the middle of the week when flights are cheaper and places are less crowded. They can take extended vacations without panic. They can leave toxic jobs because they are not financially desperate. This freedom usually comes from years of smart financial decisions: investments, rental income, business ownership, retirement planning, or simply living far below their means. Their money works for them, which means they're not forced to trade every hour for income. For Americans between 30 and 50, this hits deeply. Many are balancing demanding careers, raising children, paying mortgages, helping aging parents, and trying to save for retirement all at once. The dream isn't just more money, it's more control over life. Being able to say, I don't have to, is often a stronger sign of wealth than saying, I can afford it. Quietly wealthy people understand this. They focus on reducing financial dependence so they can protect their peace and priorities. They want freedom to coach Little League, take family road trips, enjoy hobbies, or simply have lunch without checking work emails every 5 minutes. The goal isn't just a big number in a retirement account. It's the ability to choose how your later years are spent. The American dream isn't endless hustle. It's freedom. And the people who quietly own their time are often far wealthier than they appear. 4. They talk more about investments than expenses. You can easily spot someone who is quietly building wealth by listening to what they talk about. Most people spend conversations discussing expenses: rising rent, expensive groceries, car payments, gas prices, school fees, and how everything seems to cost more every year. And honestly, for many American families between 30 and 50, those concerns are real. But secretly wealthy people tend to think differently. While they understand bills and responsibilities like everyone else, their attention is focused more on assets than expenses. They ask questions like, should I buy another rental property? How is your 401k performing? Are you investing in index funds? Is this business opportunity worth the risk? How can I reduce taxes legally? Their mindset is centered on ownership and long-term growth. They understand that bills will always exist. Mortgage payments, insurance premiums, healthcare costs, college savings, and retirement planning are part of adult life. But instead of only managing expenses, they work to create systems that produce income. real estate, dividend stocks, retirement accounts, side businesses, or equity ownership. For the average American dreamer, this is the shift that changes everything. Many people spend years trying to save money without learning how to grow money. Quietly wealthy people know that cutting expenses helps, but building assets creates freedom. For example, instead of upgrading to a bigger home too soon, they may buy an income-producing property. Instead of spending tax refunds on luxury items, they may invest it. Instead of only working overtime, they look for ways to make money work without constant labor. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. They still travel, enjoy family vacations, and create memories, but they think like owners, not just consumers. When someone talks more about investments than spending, it often means they understand the real game. Wealth is built by what you own, not just by what you earn. That mindset is often the quiet language of hidden wealth. Or 5, they stay calm when everyone else panics about money. Another strong sign that someone may be secretly wealthy is how calm they remain during financial uncertainty. When inflation rises, layoffs hit, the stock market drops, or the economy feels unstable, most people understandably feel stress. In America, especially for families between 30 and 50, financial pressure can be intense. Mortgages, daycare, healthcare, groceries, retirement savings, and unexpected emergencies all compete for attention. For many households, one missed paycheck can create real fear. But quietly wealthy people often respond differently. They stay steady. They don't panic publicly. They don't rush into emotional decisions. Why? Because they have preparation behind their peace. They usually have emergency savings, multiple income streams, low debt, investments, and long-term financial plans. They've built buffers. That preparation allows them to think clearly while others are reacting emotionally. This doesn't mean they ignore economic problems. It means they planned for storms before the rain came. For example, if layoffs happen, they may have enough savings to cover months or even years of living expenses. If the market drops, they see opportunity instead of disaster because they understand long-term investing. If inflation rises, they adjust without financial panic because they aren't living paycheck to paycheck. For the average American dreamer, this is the true goal, not just earning more money, but building financial peace. Imagine paying your bills without anxiety, taking family vacations without guilt, and knowing your retirement isn't built on hope alone. Quiet wealth creates emotional stability. Many people chase visible luxury, but secretly wealthy people chase resilience. They want the confidence that comes from knowing a car repair, medical bill, or job transition won't destroy their life. That kind of calm is often invisible, but incredibly powerful. When someone stays calm during financial chaos, it often reveals something important. They've already done the work most people only start during emergencies, and that quiet confidence is often a hidden sign of real wealth. 6, they protect their privacy. In today's world, many people feel pressure to display success publicly. Social media has turned vacations into announcements, new cars into photo shoots, and home purchases into public celebrations. For many Americans, especially in their 30s to 50s, there's a constant silent competition. Who looks more successful? Who travels more? Who upgraded faster? But quietly wealthy people often do the opposite. They protect their privacy. They don't post every investment win, every expensive dinner, or every family trip to the beach. They may own valuable property, have strong retirement accounts, and financial freedom, but you would never know it from their social media. Why? Because real wealth often values peace over attention. They understand that privacy protects relationships, reduces unnecessary comparison, and keeps life simpler. They don't need validation from strangers because their confidence comes from stability, not applause. For many wealthy people in America, privacy is actually a luxury. It means not having to explain your choices, defend your success, or attract unwanted opinions. It also protects families from unnecessary pressure and keeps financial decisions focused on purpose rather than public image. Quietly wealthy people understand that some of the best financial decisions are invisible. Paying off debt quietly, investing consistently, funding college accounts, buying property strategically, planning retirement years in advance. These things don't create flashy posts, but they create real freedom. They may still enjoy leisure travel, nice restaurants, and beautiful homes, but they experience these things for themselves, not for public performance. Some of the richest people you'll ever meet look ordinary because they've stopped trying to look impressive. They protect their peace, guard their privacy, and let their financial success work silently in the background. Sometimes silence is the loudest sign of wealth. 7. They know people in powerful rooms. One uncommon sign that someone may be secretly wealthy is not what they own, it's who they know. Quietly wealthy people often have strong relationships with people in powerful rooms. Business owners, investors, attorneys, doctors, financial advisors, real estate developers, executives, and decision makers. Their network often says more about their financial life than their clothes, car, or house ever could. In America, especially between the ages of 30 and 50, relationships are often one of the most valuable forms of capital. Many people focus only on earning money, but wealthy people understand that access creates opportunities. Sometimes, the right conversation can be worth more than years of hard labor. They may casually mention having lunch with a business owner, knowing a lender who can structure a smart deal, or getting advice directly from someone who has already built wealth. These relationships often come from years of trust, consistency, and shared value, not flashy networking events or trying to impress people. Quietly wealthy people often get better guidance because they are connected to people who understand money deeply. This doesn't mean they are name-dropping or bragging. In fact, they're often subtle. They ask smart questions, listen carefully, and build relationships slowly. They understand that trust opens more doors than money alone. For families trying to build the American dream, homeownership, financial stability, vacations without debt, and retirement without fear, having the right people around you can change everything. A trusted CPA can save years of tax mistakes. A good financial advisor can reshape retirement planning. A strong business connection can create a life-changing opportunity. Wealth is not always built alone. Sometimes, the person who seems ordinary has extraordinary access behind the scenes. They know where to ask, who to call, and how to move when opportunities appear. That kind of quiet influence is often one of the strongest signs of hidden wealth, because sometimes the richest person in the room isn't the loudest, it's the one everyone quietly respects. 8. They spend big on convenience, not status. Many people assume wealthy people spend most of their money on luxury, designer clothes, flashy watches, expensive jewelry, and status symbols that announce success. But one of the strongest signs of quiet wealth is that they often spend more on convenience than appearance. They may skip the designer handbag but gladly pay for house cleaning, lawn care, childcare support, meal delivery, premium healthcare, or faster travel options. Why? Because secretly wealthy people understand something many people learn too late. Time is more valuable than money. For Americans between 30 and 50, life is often a non-stop balancing act. Work deadlines, mortgage payments, school schedules, family responsibilities, aging parents, retirement planning, and trying to squeeze in a little leisure can make life feel like survival mode. Quietly wealthy people look for ways to protect their time and reduce stress. Instead of spending weekends exhausted from chores, they may pay for help so they can actually rest, spend time with family, or focus on higher value work. Instead of wasting hours solving small problems, they pay for expertise. They are buying peace, not performance. Wealth is not just about affording expensive things, it's about creating a better quality of life. Being able to enjoy family dinners without constant stress, take real vacations without work following you, and protect your physical and mental health is part of financial success. They still make smart decisions. They're not wasteful. They simply understand return on time. For example, paying for professional tax help may save thousands. Hiring reliable childcare may protect career growth. Living near work may cost more monthly, but save years of commuting stress. These are strategic decisions, not luxury habits. Quietly wealthy people often invest in ease, energy, and peace rather than status. Their goal is not to look rich, it's to live better. And sometimes, the biggest sign of wealth is simply having enough breathing room to enjoy your own life. Number 9. They live in stable, valuable neighborhoods. A surprising sign of hidden wealth is where someone chooses to live. Many people assume wealth means giant mansions and flashy gated communities, but quietly wealthy people often prefer stable, established neighborhoods where value grows slowly and consistently over time. They may live in an older but highly desirable community with strong schools, low crime, solid property values, and long-term appreciation. Their home may not scream luxury from the outside, but financially, it can be one of the smartest decisions they've ever made. In America, especially for people between 30 and 50, homeownership is one of the biggest parts of the financial journey. For many families, the home is not just where life happens, it's the foundation of long-term wealth. Quietly wealthy people understand this deeply. Instead of buying the biggest house they qualify for, they often buy strategically. They think about school districts, commute times, resale value, tax implications, and neighborhood stability. They know that a home should support freedom, not create constant financial pressure. For the average American dreamer, this is one of the biggest lessons. A beautiful home means little if it creates stress every month. Wealth is not measured by square footage, it's measured by peace. Can you pay your mortgage comfortably? Can you still save for retirement? Can you travel with your family and enjoy life without feeling trapped by your house payment? Quietly wealthy people ask those questions first. They may renovate gradually instead of chasing instant perfection. They may stay in a home longer while building equity rather than constantly upgrading for appearance. They understand that steady ownership often beats constant lifestyle inflation. This also affects retirement expectations. A paid-off home in a strong area can become one of the greatest financial protections later in life. Lower expenses, stronger equity, and financial flexibility create options. The American dream was always tied to homeownership, but not for status. It was about security, stability, and legacy. Sometimes the quietest house on the block belongs to the wealthiest person there, because smart wealth often grows behind ordinary front doors. 10. They use debt strategically, not emotionally. One of the biggest differences between people who look wealthy and people who are actually wealthy is how they handle debt. Many people use debt emotionally to buy things they want now and worry about the consequences later. Quietly wealthy people use debt strategically. They understand that not all debt is bad. In America, especially between 30 and 50, debt is part of life. Mortgages, student loans, business financing, and even car loans are common. The difference is how that debt is used. Secretly wealthy people avoid debt that drains them, high-interest credit cards, unnecessary lifestyle loans, and purchases made just to impress others. But they may willingly use debt for things that create future value: real estate, business expansion, investment opportunities, or education that meaningfully increases earning power. They know the difference between debt that costs and debt that builds. For the average American dreamer, this is a critical lesson. Many families feel trapped because too much of their income goes toward payments that create no lasting return. Credit cards from vacations they barely remember, expensive cars losing value, or constant financing for short-term comfort. Quietly wealthy people ask one simple question before borrowing: will this debt make me richer or just busier? For example, using a mortgage to buy a home in a strong neighborhood can build equity for decades. Using financing to grow a business can create long-term income. But carrying large credit card balances for shopping and entertainment creates stress without building security. This mindset directly affects retirement. The goal is not just earning enough, it's reaching later life without being buried in payments. A person entering retirement with low debt has far more freedom than someone still financing their lifestyle. The American dream is not endless monthly payments. It's ownership. It's financial breathing room. It's being able to enjoy travel, family, and peace without debt controlling every decision. Quietly wealthy people don't fear debt, but they respect it. They use it like a tool, not a lifestyle. And that discipline difference often separates financial freedom from financial frustration. True wealth often hides behind discipline, confidence, and smart decision-making, not flashy spending. While some people spend money to appear successful, genuinely wealthy people focus on building assets, protecting peace, and maintaining long-term financial freedom. Someone who is secretly wealthy may drive a modest car, wear simple clothes, avoid unnecessary attention, and live far below their means. They don't need validation because their security comes from ownership, investments, and financial stability, not public approval. This topic explores the subtle but powerful signs that reveal when someone is quietly wealthy. These are the habits, behaviors, and mindset patterns that often expose hidden financial success. From how they spend money to how they manage time, relationships, and conversations, wealth leaves clues. We have discussed why truly rich people often avoid status symbols, why they value privacy more than praise, and how their daily choices reflect abundance rather than appearance. Because sometimes the person sitting quietly in the corner is the richest person in the room.